Is Jedi Fallen Order the best Star Wars game? Well, after playing it, I was like, wow, that is one of the best Star Wars experiences I've experienced in quite a while. Of all the Disney Star Wars media to date so far, I think that's my second favorite behind Rogue One. That being said, I started thinking, that's got to be one of the top 10 Star Wars games that I've ever played, maybe of all time. Probably won't beat Knights of the Old Republic, but it's probably got to be up there at some point. The short answer is no. This is not the best Star Wars game out there. I was surprised, however, when I did a quick Google search and found that Jedi Fallen Order actually does not make the top 10 Star Wars video games of all time, according to Metacritic via an article from Screen Rant, and I'll link that in the description below. To my surprise, Jedi Fallen Order ranked number 11, and of course, you do have Knights of the Old Republic, Battlefront, Rogue Squadron from the N64, and those aren't surprising that those are in the top 10 games of all time, but it was surprising to me what did rank up higher than Jedi Fallen Order, which was Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy. I don't dislike Lego games. I really like Lego City Undercover for the Switch. It's really fun. I'm just not into the whole Lego Star Wars thing. I don't dislike those games. I just had other things that I was playing when those games came out. In this video, we're going to look at, is this game fun? Is this game worth the asking price? And is this game worth the time requirements necessary to finish the game? Before I get into the review, I want to remind you about Will Woodworking and laser engraving. Choose from a variety of cups, including tumblers, beverage holders, pints, pilsners, wine tumblers, water bottles, ring necks, as well as cutting boards. I got my own merch with the Datimer logo engraved on it, and when you purchase $35 or more and use the code DATIMER10, you will get 10% off your next order. Now is the time to start thinking about holiday gifts, and what better way to kick things off with a customized cup from Will Woodworking and custom laser engraving. Help the channel out by helping them. Link in the description below, and now, back to Jedi Fallen Order. The music in here sounds like it was aimed to sound just like John Williams' score for the original 9 films, and boy does it kick here. I should know a thing or two about music. I'm a drummer! Comment below if you know what tune I was playing. I don't know if this is a compliment to the composers Stephen Barton, Gordy Hobb, and Nick Laviers. I apologize if I butchered your last name. Saying they sound like someone else, but these guys did a very, very good job with the music. This is especially evident when you use headphones. I use a Bangoo set I got from Amazon for $25, and so it's not Turtle Beach quality, but it does still sound fantastic. Let me know what you guys are using in the comments. I listen to the soundtrack on Apple Music sometimes when I'm not listening to podcasts or books. Lots of flutes here, lots of intensity. I'm going to say something spoilerish about a 3-year-old game to describe part of the music here, so if you've played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I would advise you skip ahead. I'll have a little spoiler warning here right until it's done. Part of this game has you escaping from a prison cell, and when you finally come out of this prison cell, you are greeted to an awesome, awesome arena fight, and it is just glorious. Not going to say too much about the fight other than that I could not stop obsessing over the song that was written for this game that was playing in the background. It is called Sugan Isina by a Mongolian rock band, and I apologize if I butcher this name, guys. The Who. H-U. You can listen now, but the song is a lot more impactful after you clear this fight, and now it is my number one work song, just like Kratos' theme was my number one work song after I played God of War for the first time. All I can say is, well done in the music department. If you play this game, make sure you play with headphones. Let me know what headphones you guys are using in the comments below. Remember a few years ago when they said, Spider-Man on PS4 really makes you feel like Spider-Man? Well, Same thing with this game. When you ignite your lightsaber for the first time, boy does that sound kick. There are times in this game when you need to ignite your lightsaber to use it as a flashlight, and I loved every single second of it because it just puts you in the main character's shoes with the sound effects. Then you'd have all the typical sound effects you'd hear from the Star Wars universe, and they are all very immersive. In an elevator pitch, this game is Dark Souls meets Uncharted with a tiniest pinch of Metroidvania. Uncharted is one of my favorite games of all time. Dark Souls is not one of my favorite games of all time. I've seen it played. I don't care to play it myself. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't hate on it. It's just not for me. Metroidvanias, on the other hand, are me, and one of which, Ori and the Blind Forest, will be the next game that I review. Jedi Fallen Order offers you the environments you would see in a Souls-like game, as well as combat. This game really wants you to time your parries as a way of being aggressively defensive. For instance, don't think you're making it anywhere in this game by holding down the block button. You're just not going to get anywhere. You need to look at oncoming swings and projectiles as they come into your hitbox, and then you need to parry at the right time. There are a couple things here in the gameplay that are either cool or just kind of odd, but both are ultimately useless. The first thing is the lightsaber mods. It's really cool to look at your lightsaber to modify your lightsaber handle while you're turning over in your workbench. And it's really sweet looking. Outside of that part of the game, it's not really useful to the gameplay. I'm not gonna look at my customized lightsaber while I'm in the heat of combat and say, dang, man, that looks really cool while I parry this laser beam into the stormtrooper's face. Just not gonna happen. You can also change the lightsaber's color. A few colors are given to you at first, and you can look around the areas to find hidden treasures for extra colors by the end of the game. I personally would avoid spending too much time on colors, as it's just purely cosmetic. Sidebar, one lightsaber mod that is not useless is the double lightsaber. Quick tip, use the single lightsaber for stronger attacks when you're facing just one enemy, and the double lightsaber for lighter attacks, but better crowd control if you're thrown down against multiple enemies at once. Another thing that you can collect in this game is ponchos. So, if I haven't seen this unlock in a video game since the original Red Dead Redemption. Again, you can collect these as you're playing and see the treasures that come along the way, but they're not really worth your time to go too far out of your way to collect if you're strapped for time. There are a few different difficulty levels in Jedi Fallen Order: Story, Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, and Jedi Grandmaster. I played this game mostly on Jedi Knight. When it came to some of the bosses, I lowered the difficulty to Story after several failed attempts, and I switched back to Jedi Knight after I was done. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for that. I have a small preference if the new game, Jedi Survivor, could possibly make a difficulty in between Story and Jedi Knight. I felt like there was a significant enough gap in between these two to warrant a difficulty level in between these two. I definitely felt that Story was a little too easy, and Jedi Knight, Jedi Knight was definitely a good challenge. It's just that, like, some of the bosses on this difficulty, I guess I could have gotten to put in a little bit more time in this to learn the boss's patterns and stuff, but ultimately I just kind of wanted to progress through the game a little bit more quickly than I had patience for learning the boss's strategy. So in my view, this did not hurt the game whatsoever. This is just a personal preference of mine and anybody else who might be too busy to want to spend too much time on the bosses. One last thing I did want to touch on is the checkpoints in this game. These are really cool. You can save as much as you want on these checkpoints that are spaced pretty good throughout the game. They're They don't give you a ton, but they're not sparse on them either. The game gives you a chance to heal yourself at these checkpoints and respawn all the enemies that you have just defeated in this area. Or you can choose to go ahead with the little to no enemies you have left in the area. Personally, that was something that I had not encountered in a video game before. I think that the best use of this was if I came to a brand new area, I would heal up, and if it wasn't a brand new area, I would just save and not heal myself up, and I would skip the healing. It definitely made you think about what you were doing next to approach the area, and that's a big thumbs up for me. Of all the Star Wars stories that have been told since Disney acquired Star Wars, this is personally second for me. I think for a lot of other people, it's probably gonna maybe rank around third or fourth, depending on what you like. A lot of people would definitely say Rogue One, probably number one. The Mandalorian, it would probably rank behind that, and it would probably rank behind the Clone Wars Season 7, if I'm guessing correctly. Let me know in the comments below in what order you think Jedi Fallen Order should fall under all the Disney Star Wars content that they put out since they acquired it in 2012. The story does do a lot to be compelling here. Set between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, Cal Kestis is a Jedi in training before Order 66 when a work incident reveals his Force abilities, alerting the Sister Inquisitors to hunt him down and complete the extinction of the Jedi. This story just works. You are not Vader's secret apprentice trying to wipe out the soldiers like it's no problem, nor are you a girl whose parents are nobodies and whose Palpatine heritage allows her to use her awesome powers without so much as a struggle against evil, including being able to go in and wreak havoc against an entire army of stormtroopers without so much as a scratch. You, the player, have been trained in the Force, but have been barred from using it due to Order 66, and now anytime you do use it, it means life or death, just people knowing you're a Force user. This also means that stormtroopers now are way more difficult. The game aims at making enemies more challenging, and it reminded me of Spider-Man PS4, where even if you go against the simplest of enemies unprepared, then you're gonna get your butt kicked by even low-level enemies. So that was really cool. Cal is fun to watch. He's not the best protagonist I've seen in a video game, but he's certainly not bad either. He's definitely pretty good. BD1, another dad joke in video games. BD1, buddy. This guy is my favorite character. He is not just here for comic relief, he is super useful in traversal and in the area as well. Siri Junta plays a good mentor role for Cal. Grease brings some humor into the table, and the Ninth Sister and the other sisters do a really good job of being a menacing presence for Cal. So at the end of the day, can you play Jedi Fallen Order? Let's take a look at fun factor. As far as the fun factor for Jedi Fallen Order, I would personally rate this a 9.0. Thumbs up for the music, original song created for the game, sound effects, gameplay, story, and the characters. Thumbs down for the useless cosmetic upgrades. Next, we're going to take a look at price. This game goes for $19.99 physical and $9.99 or less digitally pretty often. If this were 2019 and the game first launched, I would say the game is worth full price. But since the game is over 3 years old and this game goes on sale very, very commonly, the smarter thing to do would be to grab the sale price and then get the deluxe package that comes with the documentary footage of the game, and the other cool tidbits here. As far as time requirements go, the game took me about 25 hours to finish, which is about 3 hours longer than how long to beat calculation for a main and extra. Personally, I don't think it's worth completing 100%, but definitely do all the main things and a little bit of the extra stuff that the game has to offer. After you have secured Jedi Fallen Order at a good sale price, I would then say play it now. You will definitely have fun with this game, it will grip you emotionally, and this game will definitely hit you in the feels. The next game I am going to review for you is hopping back over to Nintendo Switch and review Ori and the Blind Forest. Formerly an Xbox exclusive, generously ported to the Nintendo Switch. Thank you, Moon Studios and Microsoft. You have my thanks. So what was your favorite part of Jedi Fallen Order? Sound off in the comments below. What are you playing right now? Is it something current? Is it something older? Let me know. Until next time, go spend time with your families, ace that next test, book that next gig, and keep on gaming. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.